Now entering No Bull Zone, sponsored by Credible. Great rates, none of the bull. Aaron Rodgers still getting used to his new helmet and new team, but Jalen Ramsey says he still got it. Despite throwing for 300 yards just once in his last 40 games, is anyone buying that Rodgers can still deliver?
I'm out on the Steelers.
What? This is what I said about predictions week. He can't resist. Bro, why?
I mean, you're asking me a question. Does he still have it?
Bro.
No,
I'm starting to think about it.
Bro, what are you doing?
I want to hear it.
I mean, you want me to answer the question.
55,
If I say yes,
45 2 days ago.
What
I know.
What happened?
Look, they're the third best team in that division.
Definitively?
Yes.
You were 55,
But right now,
45
prediction
2 days
week
ago.
is 2 weeks away.
Yeah.
But right now, I am steadily moving toward the
It's
Bengals.
fluid. It's
yeah,
fluid.
it's still fluid.
It's a good
but
take.
he's at 41. We've seen some video, all of us. He looks very slow. And he's going to need that offensive line to give him great protection. I don't think he's going to get it. And the run game, I think, will be okay, but not phenomenal. So I have faith in Tomlin and his coaching. I'm not saying first losing season.
This is my fault.
You were flirting with that before.
I was flirting with it.
This is my fault.
And Nick took it. Was such a good take.
No, that's not it. Oh, yeah.
There's no
This
tape.
is
I had
my-
Dusty scrounging through the looking for stuff. I never saw.
KW, I owe the show and the audience an apology. Because I shouldn't have done it. Like a week ago, remember I ran that montage of all the times Brou kept picking the Aaron Rodgers to go to the Super Bowl, to win the division with
Go
the
to the
Jets,
Super Bowl.
all
No,
of this.
they know you
and
didn't.
Brou
Now
right, and now we don't even have suspense for predictions.
Maybe, you never know.
Jumping in front of
it's
it.
2 weeks. 2 weeks to go.
Well, he's not going to get younger.
The thing that's so amazing, I feel like all offseason you beat the drum for him to go to Pittsburgh.
I did.
And what
I
a
think,
great fit
Yes.
that would be for him to finish
DK
out his
Metcalf.
career.
Yeah.
And now
You
to
like
hear
DK
you say
Metcalf?
this,
You like Mike
I
Tomlin?
don't know how to react.
I know, I'm shocked.
Look, it was
the
the
whole-
best
it's
place
the
for him to
cameo.
go. It was the best move for the Steelers
was
just
the
because
only
nobody else
place
was
he
out
really
there.
had to go.
Right. But I think they can still win 10 games. I just think they're the third best team in the division.
Okay.
Games, all right.
And
So that maybe
But if
maybe
they could win 10 and
playoff
miss the
teams.
playoffs.
But they could win. If they can win 10, they can make
Playoffs
the
are on the board for
Okay, all right. Thank goodness.
back.
I'm a hard no. I thought of all the rankings in that Mike Sando quarterback tiers, I thought his was the most ridiculous. I think having Aaron Rodgers at 15, sandwiched,
Was it 8? Was it 50?
He was 15.
He was
Or
right
no, he
behind
was
Purdy?
16. Pardon me, because Kyler was the first person in tier 2.
Kyler, right.
It was Kyler, then Aaron. I forget who 17 was. But it had
he was
him-
higher than Geno.
Geno was 17, and then it was all the young guys. I think having him ahead of, expecting Aaron Rodgers this year to be better than your guy Drake May, my guy Caleb, Bo Nix, who a lot of people like, he was ahead of all of them, I think is crazy. He's 41. He'll turn 42 during the season. He hasn't had an above average season in 4 years. Yeah. And so I think DK Metcalf is a really good player. I also, and tell me if you disagree with me, Coach, stylistically, the receiver that obviously Aaron had the most success with, Devontae, is a historically great technician. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Not that he's obviously a great athlete and all those things, but Devontae is about routes and releases and hands and all of that. DK Metcalf, to me, is such a different type of receiver where I don't even know if he's a great route runner.
Right.
I certainly wouldn't describe him as a technician. It's just he's the combine photo that he had it come to life. I'm bigger than you, I'm stronger than you, I can run faster than you, and he's a great player because of it. That to me is not the type of receiver I expect Aaron to have a great rapport with. I'm not saying he can't throw it deep, but you know what I mean? And so I just don't see that that's a great fit. And so, no, I don't think he'll be able to deliver.
The thing that's so intriguing to me about this situation is everything in New York was changed for him. Everything was designed to allow him to be successful. And now with him going to Pittsburgh, he's got to humble himself, and he's got to change for them. He's got to be part of their culture. I don't see. There's going to be some conflict with him and Arthur Smith in terms of scheme. They're not going to do all the things that he wants them to do.
Why do you think that, Coach?
Because I feel that was one of the rubs with Russell Wilson, and why Arthur liked Justin Fields more. He has a belief in what he thinks works. Aaron obviously has a belief in what he thinks works. Now, at the end of the day, it's Mike Tomlin's decision as to what they do. But what's so fascinating is, will he go in this final year and humble himself, be part of the team, and will that in some ways be the catalyst that he needs to actually find some of what he used to have?
How does that manifest, like, just quickly, because we're up against the 4 o'clock break, but how does that manifest on like a play-to-play basis? He's calling plays that Aaron doesn't want to run?
Well, there's things that you can do that a guy like Aaron has done his whole career, okay? And if you should really build the playbook or the scheme to what he does well to maximize his talents. But there's some coordinators that they want to do what they want to do. And they have a belief system as to what's most effective against that defense, but it may not be what's most effective for that guy. So the smart thing is to do what Aaron does well. There could be some rub here where those guys are fighting in terms of what they want to get done.
You're right.
Coach.
You're right. That's not going to work. Justin Herbert comes in at 7 on the QB rankings, and we welcome the one person who still thinks it's too high or
Too low.
Too low, way too low.
Colts Open QB competition has turned into a game of not it. Neither Daniel Jones or Anthony Richardson have made this an obvious decision for the coaching staff.
I think this is an indictment on Daniel Jones. Like, they paid Daniel Jones. Everything they've done, their actions have said, we really would rather not go into the year with Anthony Richardson as the starter. And then the preseason comes, and 3 plays in, he gets lit up and gets hurt. And so every opportunity for them to be like, hey, it's Daniel Jones' job has been there, and they won't say it. And from what I understand from reading the reports is because at training camp, Daniel Jones, and this is going to shock people, Coach, you know who he's looked a lot like? Daniel Jones. Okay. I mean, like, you know what that reminds me of? The guy who used to play quarterback with the Giants. What was his name? So, yeah, I don't think this is an example of 2 quarterbacks who are just, killing it and they can't make the decision. It's quite the opposite.
I disagree. With a quarterback competition, you want to go through as much as you can to try to get to the right decision. The old adage, measure twice, cut once type of thing. And unfortunately, I don't think that even a week from now, they're going to be happy with either decision. I don't think anybody's become the clear-cut favorite. And I would imagine organizationally, the general manager really wants Anthony Richardson to work out, and Daniel Jones was brought in as the safeguard, if it doesn't work out or if it continues to look like what it looked like last season. And for him to go in this first preseason game and get lit up not knowing where the protection is and where the hot blitzer is coming from, to me, screams that there hasn't been very much progress. Mm-hmm. But I would bet that throughout the course of the season, we're going to see both those guys play because they're going to be disappointed with both of them. But organizationally, they desperately, desperately want Anthony Richardson to work. It's just not working.
Yeah, I think it's a terrible sign that Jones has not taken the position. I agree with Nick in that I think they wanted Jones to come in and be the starter, and not bridge, because I agree with you in that I think ultimately they want Richardson to pan out, but they know he's not ready. They felt he's probably not going to be ready this season, so we got Jones there, and then Anthony can keep learning and developing, and maybe next year. No, I get it, but he was a complete project and has only played 15 games. And the fact to me that Daniel Jones cannot definitively beat out a guy.
Injured Anthony Richardson.
Injured, completes 50% of his passes and only played 15 games and already didn't have any experience coming out of college is an indictment. Like, I don't think Jones has even looked like the Jones with the Giants. As bad as that was at time, he did have moments with the Giants. They thought, well, if we get that Daniel Jones, then it'll work for us.
You also have a player there that you want to, let's say that was the plan, to bring Daniel Jones in. You don't want to totally shut down Anthony Richardson. Okay, so if you come in and you say there's a quarterback competition, and then a week into it you're like, oh, Daniel Jones is the starter, Anthony Richards is going to look at this and say, "You never gave me a legitimate shot.
No, that's
we didn't
fair.
go
Yeah,
long
I
enough."
agree
But
with that.
So then he could easily be like, "Okay, you don't care. You know, you're not giving me the chance that you promised me," and that could negatively impact the relationship for a lot, right or wrong.
You think that'll be the like? Let's say Jones does end up the starter. They don't announce it till a few days before the regular season. Do you think that would be a problem with Richardson, or he'll?
I think it's going to be less of a problem because then you could objectively say, "We gave you every opportunity to win this job. He objectively beat you out," and then as a player, you're like, you can handle it. You're not happy, but you can handle it better.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.